Me again, Margaret. I'm in a goofy fucking mood today. So, speaking of, Halloween, aka All Saints Day, All Hallows Eve, blah, 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 a time to pay homage to your ancestors. So, I already got one tiny little feather. Literally floated down in front of me as I was doing a cup. But, interesting thing, I've seen at least one blue jay and 3 cardinals this morning. Cardinals represent ancestors, usually passed over ones, so I'll take it. Hi, Dad, Grandpa, everyone else. Yeah, jealous and envy. There have been times in my life when members of my family or close circle friend have shunned me and, well, treated me like garbage. And I'm not going to discredit that at those times I was definitely exhibiting behavior that probably justified it. But I've had many, many other times in my life where that was not the case, and I was just happy, content, whatever. And yet they would still sneer, talk behind my back, meddle in my own affairs, under the guise of care and concern. In my last video, I talked about one of the exercises that I like to do is, the uncomfortable silence exercise. Kind of gives you an idea where people are. Is this any better? Stay. Okay. One of the other reasons I like to do that not only is to exhibit, how easy it is to take power and control over a room or a situation, or how often we give our power away. And when I say that, a lot of people think in terms of literally like dominating or having power over somebody, and in a sense that is true, but in the other way, what I mean is, anytime you allow a person, place, or thing to dictate your emotional state, you've now given it power over you. Good, bad, or indifferent. It's the way the world works. Everything's just an exchange of energy. At any rate, the whole uncomfortable silence thing, it's also to show people how uncomfortable they truly are in their own skin. And how they can't just be in the moment. It's very difficult for people to do this. And I'm guilty of this myself. This is some of the reason why people sneer at other people's joy and happiness. And you're right, it is a form of judgment. It's a form of jealousy. It's a form of envy. From their perspective, that person doesn't deserve that. And that's another way people are mirrors. People will only match you where they're at. What that usually means is, they're either just going to match your energy and everything's going to be kind of cool and you'll both grow together, or they usually pass judgment because they think you're better than them, or they think they're better than you, excuse me. For a multitude of different reasons. Point being is, yes, I've had that experience many times in my life. We all have. Does it make it right? Absolutely not. Is it hard to not live like that? Yeah. It's a daily struggle. You know, I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like there aren't many, many times I think of revengeful things to say or spiteful things to say. I bite my tongue more often than not. But I do take solace in the fact that most of the people who judge me and cut me down wouldn't last an hour, let alone a day in my shoes. You know, does that mean I made the best judgment calls and decisions in my life? No, of course not. It just means I've learned how to overcome them. I've shown resilience and strength, some of which they don't have, because most of them couldn't handle the situations I've been through. Not even close. You know, and that's one thing I've definitely learned this time around, is that I have a particular level of strength and authenticity that intimidates the shit out of people. And it sucks, because it means I get rejected in many, many different ways. Because people succumb to their fears and their ego. Because they don't understand how I could have such strength or courage or brutal honesty. Did you hear the hawk? Oh, and the eagle. Nice. The few things that have allowed me to not be so affected, or allowed myself to not lower myself to those particular games, is, you know, and it's been a long, hard road and struggle, is realizing that, you know, more often than not, how a person reacts or treats you is a reflection of their character, not your value. And you shouldn't, your sense of self-worth and value shouldn't come from other people in that regard. Oh, I wish I could get a video of him right now. He's too far away, though. The eagle, he just landed on one of the fairways. The guy's huge. When he stands, like, walking around in the grass, he's literally like 4 feet tall. It's beautiful. Anyway, but that's, you know, back to the uncomfortable silence thing. That's why a lot of people can't sit for 30 seconds without distracting themselves in their own skin. They're not comfortable with themselves. They're not comfortable with their own internal realities. And all of those things, the distractions, the anxiousness, it's all a form of external validation, because their sense of self-worth is coming from externals all the time. And this is a byproduct of not only society, but what we're taught. Most people are taught to love under condition instead of unconditional love. And there is a difference. Now, unconditional love does not mean unconditional acceptance of one's behavior. That's key. You can still unconditionally love someone and say, no, I'm not going to tolerate your toxic bullshit. It's as simple as that. You want to go? Okay. You're free. Go. I'll see you in the next life. I'm sure I'll have more to say on it yet. I just, you know, decided to take a short little break here this morning. I wish I could play music in these videos, but every time I do, I get flagged for copyright notice. It's really fucking dumb. But, you know, hey. 'Tis what it is. I find myself nowadays, instead of getting upset or angry or hurt at people who try to downplay my successes and my happiness. At this point, I'm so over it that I just pray for them. I really do. I pray that they get the healing they need, the clarity they need, the wisdom they need, that they start to love themselves the way the universe loves them. I know that one helped me a lot. I say that one a lot. Prayer doesn't have to be some big elaborate thing. You literally setting intention is basically a form of prayer. Manifestation is a form of prayer, and vice versa. So is meditation, actually. Everyone gets hung up on these labels and blah, blah, blah. More ego. If it's not this way, it's not right. No, it's not true at all. Is it effective? Does it help you? Then it's right for you. All roads lead to Rome. Just because somebody doesn't believe in the same thing as you or recognize the same stuff as you doesn't make them less than you. Just different. That's all. This world we live in and all the individuals and all the humans and all the people and all the animals and everything else is perfectly imperfect, as it should be. Dun, 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 leaf blowers. So, anyway, more later. Bye.